Welcome to the God's Economy podcast. Together, we're going to learn to live beyond the world's systems. I just want to get right into it. Like God's economy, this is not about money. This is not about finances. When you think about economy or economics, I think money comes to mind. Um, Economy, the way I'm talking about it, it basically is just it's His currency. What is God's currency? It could be favor. It could be abundance. It could be blessing. It could be protection. Um, it's when He makes a way for you when there was no way. It's when He prevented you from doing something that you were going to do, but you asked for His blessing and favor. You asked for confirmation, but He didn't let it happen. You prayed about it, and He didn't let it happen. God's economy it means a lot. We're going to dive into it together and figure out what it all means. But I really want to impress upon you that there's three main fundamentals I think that can really help us dive into experiencing the fullness of God and His best in our life. And obviously, we need to seek, right? If you're not there at a point right where you're sure about God or not, I think the first thing we can do is seek. And it says in the Word that if we search for Him, He will be found by us. He will let Himself be found. I think a lot of people, they don't want to search. They're searching for other things. They're searching for instant gratification. They're searching for just a quick fix. They're searching for other things to make them happy. And at the end of the day, you just got to look at a lot of people where they have everything and they're never going to be satisfied. And so I'm thinking whether, it's another car, another house, another client, another level of success. We'll all be good when this happens. People tell themselves that story. It's just a never ending rat race. Um, this is where we can kind of get full once. The Lord fills our heart. We have peace, joy, and gratitude where we're at. And God's economy is taking us from where we are to where we're going. So think about where you're at in life right now. Think about where you want to be in your life. You could also take some reflection and think about where you've been. Where'd you come from? And I think that's a big part of my story as you get to know me, what I want to share. And for the reason that I want to share is to motivate and inspire and encourage again that, you know, I'm just not qualified for anything I've ever done. And it doesn't matter. With God, all things are possible. So, and everyone has a sad story, right? Everyone has a story. Everyone has a hardship. And by the way, everyone's hardship is as big to them as yours is to you. So I have one, you have one, we all have one. Didn't have a father growing up in the house. It was real rough. Um, didn't wasn't taught, how to be a man, be a man's man. I wasn't taught anything, honestly. Wasn't really encouraged to go to college. So figuring all this stuff out, realizing, at some point, and I asked God into my heart, I asked Jesus in my heart when I was 12. Still didn't know what it meant. He was in me. He was there all along. I just didn't know how to follow. So I think God's economy also has to do with when we seek, we find. And when we find, so then what though? And what is we're going to get a word for our life. We're going to obey it. We're going to have trust and faith that it's going to happen, and we're going to steward the opportunities well. And this is all I've done. All I've done is try to seek God's will for my life and do what He wants me to do. And I'm not saying I'm all that. I'm not saying I have it all. I'm not saying any of that. I don't. But I have Him, so I have it all. And if I were to ask you, hey, what is rich to you? What does that mean? Since we're just talking about God's economy, let's talk about it. What's rich? Is it money? Is it how many cars you have? Or is it your peace? Is peace rich? What about joy? Joy more than just happiness. Happiness, circumstantial. Joy doesn't matter the circumstance. How about your health? Is health rich? What about your mental health? It's a big one, man. I'm telling you, mental health. I'll tell you right now, mental health probably the number one issue we got going on in this country. The number one issue. And, you know, maybe crazy to say, but I'm just going to say it. I mean, it's a spiritual battle, man. It's a spiritual battle. The enemy wants to attack the mind. So we got our eyes and we got our ears, and we're seeing things and we're hearing things, and they're attacking our mind. God's economy erases all that. God's economy gets us where we need to be. God's economy happens when the currency of what happens when something doesn't make any sense, but He did it. He did it because you obeyed. He did it because you were faithful. He did it because you were a good steward. Um, I tell people all the time, obviously I'm not that good at all, but with God, all things are possible. I'm fortunate to have health that he gives me. I'm fortunate to have a blessed marriage to Hilda. Not that it's been perfect. It hasn't been perfect. Nothing's perfect. We still choose each other. We still choose God. He's still number one. He's still giving us what we need. God's economy is a good marriage. God's economy is the opportunity to be a good dad. You know what I mean? It's an opportunity for the next opportunity to be a good dad, a good friend, a good business owner. I had an opportunity this morning with someone I work with, and there was a mishap, and she felt really bad about it, and she needed grace. So I gave it to her. It's okay. It's all right. You know what? We messed up in the meetings yesterday. It was out of character a little bit. This person has a lot of equity with me, a lot of equity. And it wasn't a perfect meeting. It's okay. We'll have a do-over. I didn't crucify her. I said, hey, you know what? All your track record with me this whole time, that's worth something. So God's economy could be grace. So I'm saying, like, we get back what we put out. And so what I'm looking for is I'm looking for God's best. And if you're a man out there and you're watching this right now, you and me, we need to be unapologetic Christian men. So if God's going to be good in our life, are we walking around like, oh, I'm so sorry, God's good in my life. I should be acting all like I'm apologizing for what God's done in my life. Absolutely not, man. Absolutely not. No. I'm going out bragging as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, look at me. And it's all about, no, we're not doing that either. But if someone asks, we're going to tell them, hey, how'd you get here? Hey, how'd you have this success? How you been married for 30 years? How this, how that? That's what I'm saying. I'm at a point in my life right now where I need to share. And where I came from to where I'm at, I've exceeded far beyond what I ever thought I would. I never thought I'd be married for 30 years. I never thought that I would have two beautiful kids. I never thought that I'd have an opportunity to steward and be an owner of a great company like Ballard Compounding Pharmacy. I had never thought about it. And I think what really changed my attitude, and we're talking about God's economy again here, right? God's economy versus the world's. God's economy versus the world's is look at me. I need to level up. I need to do better, be better. It's all this competition. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Competing, trying to be the best you want to be. God's economy is a little more simple. God's economy is a little bit more finding out what path he wants me to be on and following that path versus going on doing something else. You could be worldly successful. It has nothing to do with God's economy. And if that's all you want and that's what you're looking for, you can go for that. But at the end of the day, we're still going to want more. We're still going to feel empty. We're still going to have a void in our life. We're still going to have doubt about what am I here for and what's my purpose. And the richest man who ever lived, Solomon in the Bible, if you're a believer, he's the richest man who ever lived. Also the wisest man who ever lived. He said, everything is meaningless. Everything is meaningless. I have everything. I have 100. I have wives. I have land. I have gold. I have palaces. I have horses. At some point, he was like, the sun comes up, the sun goes down, the wind blows left, it blows right. Everything repeats itself. Who cares? Nobody cares. I've been trying to encourage people on social media now for several months now. And for the first time ever, somebody this week asked me what I did for a living because nobody cares. I get it. Nobody cares. People care who you are. People care about who we are. They don't care about what we do. I mean, what we do matters. Don't get me wrong. Work matters. Being quality at work, striving for excellence, trying to be our best version of ourselves, be great at what we do. Don't do anything halfway. Everything's got to be full blown. Don't go through the motions of life. Be the best version of yourself, right? But at the end of the day, what's behind that? What's behind that? Is who you are only what you do for work? Come on, man. No. Are you not a blessed father? Are you not a husband? Are you not a friend? Are you not a child of the King? So that's my identity. That's the identity that we take on as Christians. That's the identity. With that identity, we have an opportunity to have an attitude of stewardship, not of ownership, entitlement. Ownership, I'm entitled. Stewardship is I'm overseeing. It's not the best analogy, but I'll give you another one. It's like the difference between like a cattle driver and a shepherd, right? I also look at this in sports too. If you're a dad out there listening and you got kids, there's those parents, man. My son has to be a quarterback. He has to be a starting quarterback. It's not football. The fact that he's playing football is not enough. He's got to be a quarterback and he's got to play for this team and he's got to, be first string versus a shepherd, which dad will put him into sports, figure out what he likes, and just kind of guide the son and let the son or daughter do what they need to do. It's a very different approach. So in this spirit of stewardship, or even this cattle driver versus shepherd, I'm looking at the relationship with Heavenly Father. Is Father God a cattle driver? You're going to believe in me. You're going to do these things. It's condemnation. It's guilt and it's shame. No, he's not a cattle driver, man. He's a shepherd. We all have the gift of free will and choice. We all have it. It's our choice. It's our choice to believe or not believe. If we believe, no offense, but so what? Even the demons believe. I'll show you right now where it says even the demons believe in Jesus. Do we just believe or do we follow? And following, I'm not talking about religion here, man. I'm not talking about it. Everyone's walk is different. Everyone's journey is different. It's not for me to decide. All I'm saying is that in God's economy, when we have an attitude of stewardship, it just changes everything. Because now we're asking him what he wants us to do and not just doing our own thing without including him. You want to motivate, inspire the heart of God on your behalf? Ask him permission for what he is putting on your heart to do and ask him for confirmation on that and watch what he does with that. A month ago, I was getting some offers from people outside the business to buy the company. And I was praying about it. And I told the Lord I was going to do it. And I told him, if you're going to stop me, I need you to stop me if you don't want it for me. He let me go on to a certain point, and I was thinking, okay, I have favor. That's his answer. I prayed for this confirmation. I said, and I'll give you a hint here on this, is the easiest prayer you could ever do. If you're seeking the Father and it's coming from him, and in the word, Jesus says, my sheep hear my voice. So I'm just saying, like, it's our job as Christians to understand the voice of God, whether it's our voice or the enemy's voice. But I was asking his permission, and I said, peace is yes and anxiety is no. If you want me to do this deal, Lord, I need to have absolute peace, but I also want my team, my senior executive team, to have peace, and some people around me that are my advisors to have peace. And no one, we were having peace up to a certain point, and then it all fell apart, and I was trying to rationalize for a second, just to get through the process. At the end of the day, he didn't want it for me, and I knew it was the right call, and we walked away. That's the kind of thing where I'm talking about God's economy and how real it is. So getting back to the world's economy, what does the world's economy look like? I mean, do I have to tell you? It's all over social media. It's look at me. It's what I'm doing. It's always one-upping everyone else. And it's not about that. Everyone needs to, again, like I said, I want to crush it too. And I'm still trying to crush it. Just the way that I'm doing it is different, right? The way that I'm doing it is different. I'm seeking a plan for my life. I'm actually getting confirmation on what he wants me to do. It's more of a simple life. It's one where I'm going to him for the ideas, the energy, the strength, the solutions, the interactions, even what I'm doing right now, God's economy, I didn't think this was going to be like this. There was something else I was doing and it led to this. So that's God's economy. He blocks and tackles for us. He redirects us. And again, getting back to God's economy versus the world's, and we're looking at the world system. The world system helps you win in a certain way, but it's not eternal. And there's often not safety in that too all the time. And what I'm looking at is I'm looking at whatever I do, I want God's favor in everything that I do. And I think the way that I get God's favor, the way that you and I can get God's favor is to ask for his blessing on what we're doing, is to include him in the plans that we have, is to make sure that we're on his plan and not our plan. So every week we're going to be talking about different things, how God's economy can be real in your life. And I want you to think about what it would look like for you. What would it look like for you where you felt God's economy was a real thing in your life? What would have to happen for you to believe in God's economy and that it could not only work for you, but it was the only way for you? So I challenge you today, just think about something in your life where you're going to take to the Father and you're going to ask him, hey, Lord, you know what? I've been prompted to do this. I've been thinking about this. I'm going to put this at your feet. I want to know where you stand with it. Should I or shouldn't I? Can I or can't I? Will you let me, or am I supposed to, or do you not want me to? It also says in the word that when we ask for him to answer us, if we don't expect him to answer, we're like waves tossed by the sea. We can't be asking and then not expect him to tell us, or not even search for the answer. So, and it says even it says in Proverbs, if you were searching for wisdom, we're looking for this like it's lost treasure. This is the kind of searching that we're talking about. This is not like, oh, I prayed a prayer and then I forgot about it, and no, this is like we're looking like our life depends on it. This is the kind of searching that I'm talking about. Um, he will make himself real to you. He will reveal himself to you. He will give you the answer that you're looking for. We might not like it, but he loves the fact that we're going to him. And our protection is there, right? Our protection is there. So I look at this story in the Bible where Moses was getting close to taking the people to the promised land, and the Israelites, they've been in captivity for 40 years. They get out of out of Egypt, and Moses is fed up because the Israelites continue to complain, even though God provided for them over and over. That water out of a rock, manna from heaven, meeting all their needs. And Moses is just tired and fed up. But God told him, like, you got to finish this and take these people to the promised land. And, Moses argued with the Lord, but said, hey, look, I'll go if you go. What Moses was saying was that if you go with me, I know I'll have victory. So I need you to go with me. I think we should all have that attitude, shouldn't we? Shouldn't we all have the attitude, Lord, I'm not going if you're not going. I'm not going to do this deal if you're not involved with it. I need your permission. It could be small things. It could be big things. Hey, I want to have a conversation with this person. Should I or shouldn't I? I'm going to make this purchase. Should I or shouldn't I? When I moved here from Sacramento to San Diego, I asked God's permission and favor for it. Told my wife, hey, I think we're supposed to relocate to SoCal. She was not having it. We'd been where we were for years, and it was a hard decision, being empty nesters with the kids out of the house. I'm like, what do we do? Wife comes to me 2 weeks later and says, you know what? Let's try. Like, okay, but it's a big ask. I put a fleece before God. A fleece before God is when we need an answer for something that's time sensitive. I wanted to really know an answer. I wanted his permission. Can I or should I move there? Put the house on the market. Nothing. 5 weeks. Somebody comes in. Cash offer. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I just given up. Okay, I guess that's his answer. Still got to buy a place here. Found a place here. Loved it. Put an offer in. Only what I could do afford that was over the asking price. And the seller was not happy. The next week, the interest rates went up. The whole market stopped. 2 weeks later, I bought the house. It's just, now I'm thinking for sure God wanted me to move here because I actually asked for his permission and things actually lined up where that little miracle happened, telling me that, no, this is where I want you to be. So, hey, listen, to wrap up on God's economy. God's economy does not make natural sense. It's not supposed to make human sense. But when we put our hope, faith, and trust in him, right? And when we seek a word from him, we obey the word. We are faithful and we trust the word. And we're good stewards of the opportunities that he puts in front of us. He'll align the results for us that we can't even fathom what these results are. It's just beyond me. So I'm just telling you, this is super encouraging. I want you to get this. All right. So my prayer for you right now is to seek out and find what God's economy looks like in your life. Okay. We're going to be talking about this more. We're going to be talking about this on a regular basis, what God's economy is and how living beyond the world's systems can make an absolute positive difference, not only in your life, but in your friend's life, your wife's life, or your spouse's life, your kid's life. Together, we will learn to be a light bulb for everyone and to show specific examples of where our obedience and faithfulness and stewardship played out in a positive way that is tangible that we can share with others. I look forward to talking to you again on the next episode more about this. Take care until then.